UTRGV, in collaboration with the nonprofit Aid the Silent, the McAllen Regional School for the Deaf, the Disability Chamber of Commerce of the Rio Grande Valley, and A Audiology in Mission, helped 18 children and young adults from low-income families get fitted for and received hearing aids in early March of this year during a hearing aid pop-up clinic held at A Audiology in Mission.
There aren't enough audiologists down here in the Rio Grande Valley. And so we started a partnership along with the audiologists at A Audiology, Disability Chamber of Commerce, RGV, and essentially we wanted to simplify the process so these children could get hearing devices. So in the past, they were needing to travel outside of this area. So often they were referred to Corpus Christi, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, because these services were not available down here. So with this process now, we're able to essentially be efficient.
All resources were gathered to medically and audiologically evaluate the children and young adults who qualified. Dr. Jessica Stewart, assistant professor in the Communication Sciences and Disorders Department at UTRGV, said it is always important to get the resources you need when it comes to hearing, especially at a young age.
It is really important especially for children to get hearing devices as young as possible because most of the development of speech and language happens before the age of 7, and actually the majority happens before the age of 3. So when children can't adequately hear and they're not getting that input, it affects their ability to develop speech and language, and which ultimately impacts their ability to interact socially, academically. It affects all areas. So if we can get these children the hearing aids that they need before 7 or hopefully before 3, we can actually change the trajectory of their development for the rest of their lives.
Dr. Patty Roldan, owner and chief doctor at A Audiology in Mission, says the process to get hearing aids has been difficult. Families could wait months or longer before their loved one receives the hearing equipment they need.
We know there's a need, and it really is heartbreaking when they're like, what do we do? And I'm like, I don't know.
But that wasn't the case at the pop-up clinic. The nonprofit Aid the Silent provided devices, volunteers, and a small setup, while A Audiology and UTRGV doctors Magayan and Stewart helped children, young adults, and their families get fitted for a new hearing aid device and learned about using it. Applications before the event were on a first-come, first-served basis, with applicants from across the valley, from Hidalgo, Star, and Cameron counties. The hearing aids the children received are meant to last for 5 years. However, depending on the family's insurance plan, they might have to keep their devices longer than 5 years until replacement is possible. Ears grow, so the younger the child, the more often an ear mold needs to be replaced. A teen and young adult we spoke to say they're thankful for their new hearing aids, and each has had some difficulties growing up.
Before, when I was small, I couldn't hear, and now that I'm older, well, now with the hearing aids, I am able to hear. When I was small, I wasn't able to hear. I couldn't work. I struggled a lot. I had to go see the doctor. Now that I have these new hearing aids, it's a lot better, now that I'm an adult.
Language development and being aware?
Yeah, whenever I was small, sometimes I would cry.
When I was little, I didn't have no hearing aids. I was just like a normal kid without hearing aids or whatever, just doing kid stuff. And later on time in elementary, I had hearing aids on. When I was born, the doctor did surgery on my ear. And the future, the doctors here told me that the moment I stopped growing, I could have surgery to reopen it and maybe just put the other piece of my ear like to match the other one.
Their advice for others who may be deaf or hard of hearing, especially children, is to not let your disability limit you on what you want to do and to always stay strong. The UTRGV Communication Sciences and Disorders Department will continue supporting the hard of hearing and deaf communities of the RGV, with plans to create an annual deaf and hard of hearing awareness walk in Edinburgh. Reporting for the newsroom at UTRGV, I'm Marisol Villarreal.